What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of your favorite legendary rants. I'm your host. I am legendary, and today we're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 3. And before we do anything, make sure you like this video, make sure you comment down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 3. I'm recapping the episode. And y'all, I just watched it. I'm still confused a little bit, but bear with me. It's a lot to discuss, a lot that took place, but let's just go on and jump right in. So the episode starts with Sheree, Sanya, and Marlo. Marlo has the girls over to her place. Marlo. Sheree has the girls over to her place. Oops. Sheree has the girls over, and y'all, the first thing I thought when I saw this shelf preparing this spread for Sanya, Marlo, and Sheree was, Sheree, are you paying this lady? Um, for those of you who haven't watched all of RHOA last season, that was a narrative that Sheree doesn't pay her bills. Now, this is not just something that started last season. This has been an ongoing thing with Sheree. Sheree is known around Atlanta to not pay people, right? So to see her doing all this for just Sanya and Marlo, it was like, Sheree, what we doing, right? But that's neither here nor there. Marlo shows up. Marlo shows up, y'all, fresh off the runway. And they just shooting a scene at Sheree house. It's like, Marlo, you could have just wore some pajamas. You could have just wore a little cute workout outfit. Marlo showed up like she was heading to the Met Gala, right? Um, they toast, y'all. While I'm watching them do this toast, I'm like, what are we toasting to? The losing team? Like, what are we doing, ladies, right? It's just something about these three together that I'm not buying, I'm not feeling. And it doesn't mean that I'm a fan of Candy and Kenya and Drew. Now, Drew is my girl. I'm feeling Drew, y'all. I've been feeling Drew for the 3 seasons she's been on the show. But as for Kenya and Candy, Monietta, right? We're not feeling them. But it was something about those three, Sanya, Marlo, and Sheree toasting, that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not feeling this squad. Like, it's just something about them. Maybe it's Sanya, but we'll get into her later, right? Marlo speaks on some parenting struggles. Y'all, I think Marlo is getting a lot of judgment from this group about her Monty journey. I can only imagine how difficult this is for her, especially on camera and doing this on camera. Um, I'm sure it's not easy, right? First time mom, aunt turned mom at that with teenagers. I'm sure that's a difficult task, right? But I'm offering Marlo empathy. Are these women offering Marlo empathy? Not so much, right? Then the ladies discuss BravoCon. Y'all, this Candy, Mama Joy's Todd storyline, I'm just depleted of it, right? Since Candy's married Todd, every season, Mama Joyce is finding a way to put herself in Candy marriage, to have an opinion about Todd, to have an opinion about his work, his work business, and if he has a job, or if he don't make enough money for Mama Joyce, all these different things. Y'all, I really do feel bad for Todd, because at what point is Mama Joyce gonna stop inserting herself in Candy's marriage, right? And at what point is Candy gonna really put her foot down to tell Mama Joy stop putting herself in her marriage, right? Um, and all this does for me is circle back to last season when Marlo said to Candy in Jamaica, your mom don't respect your husband. Tell your mama stop disrespecting your husband. And how mad Candy was about True T. Like, Candy, put your foot down. Tell your mama stay out your marriage because we're depleted of this storyline. Honest and truly. We're over it, right? So then we talk Drew. We talk Drew, and of course, Sanya mentions her beef with Drew. Drew calling out on the stage at BravoCon. At this point, I'm just convinced Sanya's obsessed, right? Sanya is obsessed with Drew. It don't matter if Drew in the scene, not in the scene. She gonna find a way to talk about Drew, and we just over it. We not feeling it. We don't like it. And honestly, y'all, Sanya needs to go. Whoever starts that petition, I'll be the first to sign it. Let's get Sanya off RHOA. This woman is awkward. This woman is lame. This woman is a people pleaser. This woman is messy as fuck. She just needs to go, right? Uh, then we talk Martell. Y'all, it was Marlo saying, can Martell get her a man? That I was like, Marlo, what are we talking about? Right? These three women are all delusional, right? Sanya, Sheree, and Marlo. Sanya's delusional because Sanya really thinks she's in a happy marriage when every time we see her and Ross, Ross looks like he is ready to file for divorce, right? Marlo, because if you asking Sheree and Martell to hook you up with somebody, it's like clearly your luck with men is slim. And Sheree, it's plenty of people that's picked me up from an airport. That don't mean they love my dirty draws. It just mean they gave me a ride. So yeah, Sheree, like, and then it's Sanya and Marlo with the good. Like, oh, you got it good. Like, what are we talking about? Like, is Marlo is Martell putting some down on the rent for Sheree? Is he sweeping floors? Is he, restocking cabinets and pantries? Like, what is really going on? And y'all, I'm not buying Martell and Sheree. So it's something that's telling me this relationship is just a storyline for the both of them. But that's another video for another day, right? Then we get into Drew and Ralph. Drew and Ralph go rock climbing. And y'all, I personally enjoyed the scene. While there's a lot of people who feel like Drew is playing in our face about her reality, now this is Drew's third season on the show. And if Drew came into this season being intentional, saying, hey, I don't want to put my marriage on Front Street, a third season. I don't want to talk negatively about my marriage, a third season. Can we blame Drew? Because at least Drew is giving us something. We have other women who refuse to give us anything. So I'm here for this. And of course we know what's coming. So this is only good to see the build up to where we get, right? I have no issue with this. Um, all I could think while Drew was on that wall was because y'all, I watched so much Snap. Shit, was this a scheme that Todd set up for the bullshit with Ralph? Because the whole time I'm watching Drew on this wall, I'm thinking, I hope her life insurance paid up because y'all, Drew was all over the place on that wall. And I was nervous for her, especially knowing Drew ain't got no good Achilles. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, they could have just did something cute at the park or something. This rock climbing scene, yeah, I'm for the athletics, but I don't know. It was just like, what are we doing? But I guess it was to, see something with them team building where they had to work together, coach each other through it. So to me, personally, it was cute, right? They talk Drew music career, and he makes a Ike and Tina reference. Now, this is interesting considering Tina Turner just passed. Now, Funky always say, God don't bless mess and God don't bless confusion. And I think Ralph should have kept Tina Turner out of him and Drew's mess and out of their confusion, because that just sent a whole black cloud her way that now this woman is gone. And I'm just like, Ralph, you shouldn't have mentioned no icon and no legend like Tina Turner, but I get it. Drew is even more delusional, saying that her and Ralph are goddamn Jay-Z and Beyonce. Now, Ralph can play the piano, but outside of that, what Grammys, what $1 billion is this man getting? We still don't know what his place of employment, his we don't know it, right? We don't know what Ralph does for a living. So this whole situation is just sad to me. This is yet another housewife going through a divorce. And I don't know, y'all. I'm just really not feeling this storyline. A part of me feel like this is just a storyline for Drew, and that Ralph and Drew might work through this divorce, but we will see, right? We will see by the end of this season. Ralph then talks about at BravoCon there were people saying Ralph gaslight me. Y'all, that shit is funny. Like, we can't take everything so serious, right? And is Ralph finding humor in the toxicity for me? You get what I'm saying? The fact that fans actually was saying this to this man is insane. So yeah, that just was crazy. Candy. We finally get Candy with her crew at the candy factory. We have Candy, Don Juan, and Monietta pops in. Candy goes through her to-do list, which consisted of a bunch of everything but her kids and Todd, right? I saw Soul Train Awards. I saw Portia's wedding, which is like, you and Portia not even good Judies like that. So why are you going to anything for Portia, or why are you prioritizing that over your husband, Blaze's birthday, all these different things, right? And then at the very bottom of the list, she puts Todd's movie, which is like, Candy. This man support everything you do. The least you could do is support his movie idea. And I honestly would have loved to see Candy be the lead in this movie, right? Now, yes, Candy isn't my favorite person on the show, but the least she could do is support her man by being the lead in his movie. I don't know, y'all. Comment down below, do y'all think Candy should have been the lead in this movie? Yay or nay? How we feeling about that? It was the hair in the scene for me. I just have in my notes, hair in the scene equals trash. Y'all, I didn't like Candy hair in this scene. And it was something about how lazy it was, that it was just like, did Blaze do your hair today? Who did Candy hair that day? Because it just wasn't, it wasn't what's up, right? Now, this is several looks we see Candy this season where hair trash, confessional hair trash. I didn't like the little rhinestones on the eyes. I think in my notes I put, it was something I said about them eyes. I think I called them salt pebbles or something like that. But yeah, y'all, I'm just not feeling Candy's looks. It's not on this page, but I'm sure it's on the other page. I couldn't find it. But yeah, y'all, Candy looked like shit. Candy don't look like she worked $40 million. Which is crazy that Candy, like, the least you can do, Candy and Giselle need a master class on wardrobe, hair, and makeup, because it's just like, what are we doing? Um, Again, we talk BravoCon with this Mama Joyce Todd situation, and Candy talks putting her foot down. Y'all, I'm not buying it. I don't know who Candy thinks she fooling, that she about to check her mama. But if Candy really thinks she about to check her mama, she got another thing coming. Mama Joyce is not for that bullshit at all, right? And Mama Joyce damn sure ain't worried about no Candy or no Todd. So it's comical, honestly, for Candy to say, she's over it. It's like, you should have been over it when it first happened. Now you 10 years into a marriage, and all you've allowed is your mom to disrespect your marriage. So it's like, Candy, when are you gonna boss up as this housewife and clock in and really do the things we want you to do, right? I just don't see it. Um, we didn't get Drew, Ralph, cousin Courtney, and her ex co-parent Bryce Wilson. Now, Drew finds out that this is cousin Courtney's man, but this is also her co-star in a movie about 10 years ago. Y'all, it was something about, now I'm gonna say allegedly with this because it was Drew's body language that gave this off. Now, this is not confirmed. My ears are to the streets, but I have not heard this. It was just what the scene gave to me that Drew and this man possibly done spent the block once or twice. Now, that's just the vibe I got. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I peeped, right? And I could be wrong, but something telling me I'm right? Drew was flabbergasted when she saw this man. Um, Candiace calls. Candiace calls and Candiace lets Drew know that Shamari backed out and she would love for them to sing a song together. For all the shady people that have an issue with Drew's performance length, Candiace's call was for them to sing a song together, right? Not for Drew to perform, not for Drew to do 2 or 3 songs in a set, but for them to do a song together, right? So all those shady people out there that got all this hate for Drew and all this negative to speak on Drew, y'all, Drew did what she was called and asked to do, right? I think if Drew was told to do more, Drew would have done more. But Drew was only asked to sing a song, and that's what she did. But we will get to that when we get to that, right? Candiace mentions in the FaceTime that she invited Kenya and she invited Sheree. Y'all, it's something about this entire crossover that to me, Candiace is giving a little thirsty. Now, I get it. This was great marketing for her to be on both franchises, to use RHOA taping to fill seats that night, but it just didn't come off genuine. And if I was Drew, knowing that Shamari was her initial and I was a replacement, I would have felt the way. Right now, Drew is getting her feet wet in the whole music thing again. And so I get it. Drew is just trying to get in where she fit in, right? So this was a great opportunity from Candiace. Shout out Candiace for hooking Drew up with this opportunity, right? That's not what we're mad about. What we're mad about is the fans shading Drew, but she did what she was asked. To me, that's bothersome because now all y'all are showing is y'all just want to have issues with Drew. You know, Drew is not a problematic housewife. You know, Drew is very light. You know, she keeps it short. She never cuts for the white meat. So I'm just confused on why everyone has an issue with Drew. But we'll get to that when we talk the performance, right? Drew calls Candy. Drew calls Candy. And in calling Candy, Drew Drew tries to put Candy on the FaceTime with Courtney. Candy lets it be known she don't like her. Why you doing this? And Drew says she don't want no drama with Drew. Y'all, I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, Drew, you were being a little messy. Candy wasn't featuring it. And to me, I feel like Candy should have used this moment to just squash the beef. Courtney called you ghetto. Candy, ghetto you are. You get what I'm saying? I feel like I could take Candy to Chimichang's and she gonna split a wing dinner with me. We know she was roaching for a wing off Marlo. So it's like, Candy, what is the problem? What are you mad about? It's not like this woman talked about Mama Joyce. It's not like she talked about Blazer Ace. You get what I'm saying? It's not like she called you broke instead of ghetto. She called you ghetto. Let it go. But in typical Candy fashion, victim Candy, in the words of Portia, victim Candy. Um, Yeah, Candy is just dragging it because Candy has nothing really going on. And for Candy, this is a storyline. And honestly, Courtney helped her when Courtney shouldn't have said nothing, right? But as we see, Courtney was brought on by Sheree. Courtney was brought on by Marlo to do this dirty work. And that she's doing, right? So, oh, Candy salt sprinkles on her eyes. They were salt sprinkles, y'all. I didn't like it. It's like some rhinestone sprinkles. I don't know. It was just something that just wasn't cute. Um, some ghetto ass makeup, right? Ghetto ass makeup. Once again, proving she's ghetto. That's not a bad thing. You know, I'm country. People call me country. It is what it is. You get what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Um, Drew and Courtney talk Sanya for a second and talk about how fake Sanya is. Y'all, I'm here for Drew Lace and Courtney on Sanya. It's something about Sanya that just make the back of my neck itch, right? Because this woman just doesn't fit in with this group. No chemistry, no looks, no reads, nothing, right? We are not featuring Sanya. And so comment down below if you feel how I feel about Sanya, right? Because Sanya is just not good TV. And also, if you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Okay? So yeah, Drew laces Courtney on Sanya. Let it be known, Sanya's fake. Sanya's fake, right? And we kind of get that. Last season we saw, I mean not last season. Well, last season we did see Sanya snake Drew, but last episode we saw Sanya snake Courtney to Candy. So this is Sanya's MO, y'all. I don't even think Sanya's loyal to herself. And we know that because she can't cook, she can't clean, she can't mother. What can she do? And if you ask me, I think Sanya keeps her entire family, her sister, her assistant, all in her home to buffer her marriage. So, oh, if all these people are in my house, I don't have to address my real issues with Ross, right? So it's something about Sanya that just isn't authentic. And let me know, are y'all feeling Sanya? Are we feeling Sanya? Do we think Sanya should be back on next season? Let me know below. Marlo speaks about her older nephew passing. Y'all, now the math is mathing with this whole situation. At first, I didn't know what the hell Marlo was talking about at the end of this episode, but then rewatching it, seeing Marlo talk about this and reference it when she talked about, the boys and them just staying on track. She then goes into the life coach and the boys and how she's working hard with that. And y'all, Marlo had them kids in the rain, riding around in a nice car to go to the mall and pick up something she done ordered offline. Marlo is a Monty, but Marlo is still Marlo, and that's what I'm loving, y'all. I'm feeling Marlo this season. Marlo is not nasty. Marlo is not cutting for the white meat. Marlo is just walking in these scenes, and they're hating on her, right? So shout out Marlo, y'all, for actually doing the work a little bit. I am seeing a little improvement, but I'm sure next week when she kicking this door down with Brooklyn up in the room, we gonna be back to dragging Marlo for the antics, right? But y'all, I'm feeling it, right? Anybody that can fuck with Kenya, I like it. Um, Drew and cousin Courtney go to the performance. The ladies arrive, and Sanya is still talking about Drew. Sanya talking about her relationship with Drew. She's referencing Bravo cuz she's hoping that things are better. She's hoping that her and Drew can move forward. And it's like, Sanya, you should give Drew a portion of your check because they need to have a Drew counter every time Sanya's in a scene. Because this woman, like Drew lives rent free in Sanya Richards Ross's brain. For some reason, I feel like Sanya would love to be Sanya Sadora at this point. Because it's like, why? Y'all not friends. Let it go. We don't see Kenya talking about Marlo. Kenya don't say shit about Marlo. She paid Marlo dust. Let it go, Sanya. Um, Marlo, speaking of Marlo, Marlo shows up and she's greeted by dry highs. Y'all, this mean girl, Wendy on Potomac behavior, we don't want to see this. We don't want to see women icing folks out from a check, icing folks out of scenes, dry highs. We don't want that. So Potomac did it last season. It wasn't good. They trying to do it on RHOA. Just chill. Just chill. It's not that deep. Marlo ain't say nothing that wasn't semi-true. Like it's all semi-true. So it's like, let it go. Y'all all throw y'all shade. Y'all came for her Lay Archive event last season. She threw her shots back. It is what it is. Let's let it go. Right? Let's just let it go. So Sanya asked why everybody was mad at Marlo when Marlo left the table. Y'all, Sanya play every side. Sanya play first base, second base, third base. She pitching. She in the outfield. She the water girl. Sanya is working. And it's not the good type of working. She's coming off thirsty for these women attention. She's coming off like she's taking beats from the producer to do certain things, and it's just not natural. It's like when Nene in Puerto Rico said, someone telling you when to drink, when to eat, when to walk, when to talk. Saying this is your second season. And honestly, you don't deserve a third. You honestly didn't deserve this second one. And they really gave you a chance. And you dropping the ball. So once again, let me know below how we feeling about Sanya, y'all. I'm really not feeling it. Um, I it's just something about this woman that's just a no for me, right? We then get Where's Sheree from Sanya, like no Sheree, and then I'm like, all I got in my notes is, ain't that your friend? So if Sheree your friend, why you asking the group about where's Sheree? It just show y'all Sanya is fake. Sanya is fake. Sanya is fake, y'all. And this woman doesn't deserve another season. Um, Candiace killed it. Candiace killed the performance. I wish we would have saw more of the performance, but I get it. This was about Drew and not Candiace. But Candiace killed the show. Just from the little snippet we saw, Candiace killed the show. We didn't get her duet with Drew. Um, they sound amazing. Drew did say at the end of this performance, y'all, that she was ready for more. So I feel like Drew would have performed her song if that's what Candiace would have allowed. But the call was for them to share a song. And Drew did what she was asked, right? And if you ask me, Drew sharing more with the song and her storyline than half these girls sharing on this season. So shout out, Drew. You did your big one. It was a big little one, but you still did your big one. So shout out, Drew. Of course, we did get a montage of shade from the girls. And y'all, why I'm over this is because it just really seemed like no matter what Drew does, these women are gonna find a way to make a positive into a negative when it comes to Drew. And honestly, Drew, watching this show, you ain't got no friends on this show, man. Like none of them featuring you. And you should see this. I can see this, and I'm not in your shoes. So I hope you see this, Drew. Like these women don't really support you or care for you. And so I hope you start moving accordingly with these women. Like because the fake friendships, I'm over it. This season is a lot of fake friendships, and I'm just not featuring it. Like I don't know, it's something off about this season. But that'll be a video for another day coming soon. Wait on it. Chris, let's talk Chris real quick. Y'all, Chris ain't learned his lesson. So on Potomac, Chris was in a scandal with Giselle, and we know Giselle and Ashley told some lies, right? That's not what I'm here to report, that they were right and Chris was wrong. Nah. My issue with Chris is that Chris doesn't get that when it comes to his interactions with these women, he should leave that to his wife. Chris is thirsty to be around the cameras. Chris is thirsty to be around housewives. And it's not a good look. It's just not a good look, bruh. You were just in a whole scandal with Giselle alleging all this stuff on you. So you would think you would move different. It was nothing for you to go up to say to them RHOA ladies. You don't know them. You don't know none of them. It was nothing for you to go up and say to them. The only thing you need to go up and say to Kenya was, where's Mark? That's what we need to know for Kenya. But outside of that, we didn't need you hugging them and people possibly putting on you. You done grab the butt, touch the butt like Michael Darby, allegedly. So, Chris, do better, man. Just do better. Do better, Chris. Marlo shades the outfit. She wanted to see more skin. Kenya shades the length of the performance. Drew, again, these women are not your friend. I repeat, these women are not your friend. And I don't want to see Drew abort this mission because y'all, I'm enjoying Drew on RHOA. But I hate a disjointed cast. And so part of me feel like Sanya should go and Portia and Eva should return. Portia and Drew were real friends, y'all. And Drew is on an island by herself on this show. And it's not good to watch. It's just not good. BravoCon is brought up by Sanya. Of course, Sanya had to get her moment in. Like, this woman just performed and had a good night. Sanya, you looking for a moment. You looking for a moment. And Sanya was all over the place this episode. We should call her Nat Sanya. Because she like that gnat flying around your house when you leave some trash out a day or two, right? Like, Sanya, you just all over the place. You all over the place. Pause. Calm down. Pause for the cause. Like, let Drew have a moment. Let Drew have a moment. That's okay. And then the next group scene, you can mention, oh, what happened at BravoCon. But at Drew's night, let Drew have her moment, right? Kenya, cheers. Squash that beef. Squash that beef. Now, Kenya, if only you practice what you just preached, man. Shouldn't you squash the beef with Marlo? Shouldn't you squash the beef with Nene? Shouldn't you squash the beef with Portia? But of course, Kenya holding the girls accountable, but Kenya not being held accountable. Y'all, Kenya's gonna play in our face about this divorce for another 3 seasons because she was never married, allegedly. Kenya is bullshit, right? Kenya is bullshit. Candy mentions to Courtney her beef, throws Sanya all the way under the bus in the ignition, didn't give a damn. Let it be known. Sanya told me you called me ghetto. And at this point, I needed these ladies to see Sanya for who she was. And they still yet to see it. Now, we do know on Speak On It, Kenya mentioned Sanya and said there were several times throughout the season she side-eyed Sanya. And she didn't know if Sanya was keeping it real. Y'all, I have a feeling at some point in this season, the cast is gonna peep Sanya for who she is, and I cannot wait for that scene. I cannot wait for the Sanya pile-on scene because Sanya jumped ship for Drew to leave Drew out there on her own to get piled up on, and I really hope Drew allows Sanya to get dragged by these ladies who really they don't want nothing to do with this woman. They really don't. They're tolerating her, but Sanya has no real connection or friendship with no one in this group. I think it's pretty evident, right? Courtney confirmed that what Sanya told Candy, she said it should have been dropped, right? Candy spazzing, Candy just talking unlimited junk. She said a bunch of nothing. Um, and Kenya jumps in, stirring the pot, letting it be known. Oh, well, why would you say that? I'm like, Kenya, you say a lot. Kenya can clearly do whatever she wants. Then we get Marlo and Monietta per Sanya, right? Sanya lets it be known, Monietta, you have a problem with Marlo. You said at the table you have a problem with Marlo. I'm like, Sanya, hush, shut up. Call your mama, call your sister, make sure y'all porch light not on. Call your mama, make sure she starting dinner tonight. Because like, you ain't cooking shit. If it was up to you, Lil Deuce would be eating noodles every night. You can't do your own hair. Your sister got to do your hair. So I need Sanya to mind the business that pays her and focus on getting that 100K she spent to show out for these girls back, right? I hope y'all see. I don't fuck with Sanya, okay? And y'all are going to see all season. It's just something about this woman that ill, right? Monietta, why are you doing Candy and Kenya's dirty work? Why? Last season, Monietta, you wasn't bad. You was actually kind of cool. This season, what are we doing, Monietta? Kenya was smiling because her puppet was doing what she was asked to do, right? Um, Monietta, let me know below. Are we feeling Monietta? Yay, nay? Did Monietta deserve a second season? Let's talk about that below. Drew Marlo at the end. Drew and Marlo. So we see Drew reference an incident to Candy, right? She uses the word incident because from the last scene, we see Drew says she wasn't trying to be messy. She wasn't trying to be malicious. She wasn't trying to kick Candy while she was down. She was just trying to see if, what can we find out about the situation? For whatever reason, when Marlo jumps in and says, let's talk about the shooting, Candy mentions Marlo cutting a woman's face. The two have nothing to do with each other. Like Marlo said, this happened 23 years ago. Candy, this just happened. And like we saw last episode, when the producers was even at your restaurant with your cousin slash godson that got shot, you still didn't talk about it. You've been on the show for 14 seasons. The producer should not have to tell you to talk about topics that are going on in your life. That's your job, not theirs. Y'all, Candy sucks like Sanya. The same way we feel about Sanya, we should be feeling about Candy. Okay? Candy sucks. Okay? Drew twirls. And then we get Drew and Marlo at the end of the episode. Now, Marlo was pressed, and it makes sense to me now, rewatching it. Marlo was pressed because when she had a nephew who got shot, she mentioned it on her own on the show with no push or pull. That's why we see the flashback. She also let Candy know that this was her nephew that was murdered, who was a chef at her restaurant. Candy showed no real empathy, sympathy, condolences, nothing. Candy seemed like she could kill us. And I think Marlo's issue was how scared the women tiptoed around Candy when bringing up this issue. And so then we see the meltdown from Marlo where she jumps in Drew's face. And it was just a lot. Marlo saying know when to cut off the acting. That was crazy. It's like, Marlo, are you acting? But y'all, I think this was a real moment for Marlo. I think she had a real meltdown because Drew was not offering the empathy to her about losing her nephew that she offered to Candy, who was still alive. Candy's nephew, who was still alive. So now I get why Marlo was so frustrated. At first, I didn't get it, but rewatching it, it now makes sense, and the math is mathing, right? Overall, I give this episode a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. It wasn't a bad episode. So far, I'm enjoying the season. Let me know how you feel about the season. Next week, we see Sheree having a scrambled egg. We see Sheree having a scrambled egg, and we see Kenya getting her door kicked down by Marlo with Brooklyn in the room. I can't wait to see it. You just tuned in to Legendary Rants. I just recapped Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 3. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment and engage down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace.